All right, this video is about replacing the squirter unit. It's Ducati's unique name for essentially the thermostat assembly on the Panigale. And you can't just replace the thermostat, you have to replace the entire unit. This is what it looks like. This is the entire unit. You have to buy this entire assembly. It's about 180 bucks, I believe. And you can see there's a thermostat in there. But it regulates the flow of coolant throughout the system. This is a clip that holds in, I believe, a temperature sensor. So I'm reusing this from the unit that I removed, and it goes in here. So as you can see, the pump, the turbocharger looking thing, is the water pump. Great way to just make sure it's working properly is put the bike in fifth gear or sixth gear, turn the rear wheel, and it'll be easy to turn at that point, and you'll see the water pump spinning. So that's just something that I did also just to make sure that the pump itself is spinning properly. Again, that's not a full test, but it just gives a good confirmation that the pump is working. And this is where most of the magic happens to take the squirter unit out. As you can see, it connects like this. So these three holes on the squirter unit align with those three holes on the compressor, or the water pump. Still thinking about turbos. And you can see you have the original hose clamps that you can remove and replace with traditional worm gear clamps, which is what I'll be doing. And there's a seal on the inside here that is worth replacing. You can order that with this as well. If you look at the parts catalog, you can see the seal. And then there's also two O-rings on the sensor that goes into here that I recommend replacing. You can actually see one of the O-rings on mine is pretty shot. So this is the sensor that goes into that port. And to do this job, remove all the fairings essentially. I was doing the exhaust at the same time, so I had to remove all of them, but I think you can keep the lower fairing on one of the sides. And then you have to remove these side panels, which requires a good amount of unplugging, but it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing really shocking in terms of what needs to be removed. Just get these side panels off and everything mounted to them. You can kind of let it hang because the wiring harness goes through the plastic, so you're not actually gonna be able to remove this side mount altogether. I actually left the coil pack and the regulator mounted. I don't think you need to really remove them, but I unplugged them just so that I have the slack in the wiring. And that's about it. Most of the work is on this side, but you have to remove the other side panel as well, just to get to one of the hose attachments. And then it goes back the same way. To access these bolts, what I did is I used a long extension so that I could get in kind of like through here, and that'll allow you to easily get access to those three bolts. And that's pretty much the trickiest part. Obviously you can drain your coolant through here, and I captured some of it so I can reuse it because it was fresh. My distilled water and water mix. And yeah, so this all just goes back in pretty much the way that it came out. I just wanted to show what needs to be done. When you first look at this, it looks like the entire frame has to come off to give you clearance, but you can do it just removing the side panels. And yeah, so good luck, any of you guys and gals that are thinking about doing this.